Fyodor Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment follows Rodion Raskolnikov, a poor former student in St. Petersburg who commits murder to test his own theory about morality. Believing that great individuals are above the law, he kills a greedy pawnbroker, Alyona Ivanovna, but is soon consumed by guilt and paranoia. As he struggles with his conscience, he encounters Sonya Marmeladov, a kind and self-sacrificing young woman who urges him to confess. Meanwhile, the clever detective Porfiry Petrovich slowly closes in on him. In the end, Raskolnikov admits his crime and is sentenced to exile in Siberia, where, with Sonya's support, he begins his path toward redemption. Crime and Punishment is a psychological novel that explores guilt, morality, and redemption. Dostoevsky delves deeply into Raskolnikov's mind, showing how his inner turmoil is more punishing than the fear of being caught. The novel questions the idea of whether some people have the right to commit crimes for a greater purpose. Through Raskolnikov's suffering, Dostoevsky argues that true redemption can only come through confession and accepting responsibility. The novel also critiques social inequality, portraying how poverty and desperation can drive people to extreme actions. Combining suspense, philosophy, and emotional depth, Crime and Punishment remains a powerful exploration of human nature. One of the main themes in Crime and Punishment is the power of guilt. After committing murder, Raskolnikov believes he can justify his crime, but his conscience slowly destroys him. He becomes paranoid, sick, and unable to find peace, proving that psychological suffering can be worse than legal punishment. His interactions with Sonya, who represents morality and compassion, force him to confront his guilt. Dostoevsky suggests that true punishment comes from within and that no one can escape their own conscience. The novel explores the idea of whether some people are above the law. Raskolnikov believes that extraordinary individuals, like Napoleon, can commit crimes if it benefits society. However, his own mental collapse proves that such a theory is flawed. By the end, he realizes that no one has the right to take a life, no matter the justification. Through this, Dostoevsky critiques dangerous philosophical ideas that separate morality from human emotion. Dostoevsky presents suffering as a necessary step toward redemption. Raskolnikov's suffering after the murder is both mental and physical, showing how crime isolates and destroys a person. Sonya, who endures suffering with grace, becomes his guide toward redemption. When he finally confesses and accepts his punishment, he begins to heal. The novel suggests that only through suffering, repentance, and love can a person truly change. Raskolnikov is a complex character, torn between his intellectual arrogance and his deep sense of guilt. His internal struggle drives the novel, making him both fascinating and tragic. Sonya Marmeladov is the moral heart of the story, embodying selflessness and faith despite her hardships. Porfiry Petrovich, the clever detective, represents justice but uses psychological manipulation rather than force to expose Raskolnikov. Razumikin, Raskolnikov's loyal friend, provides warmth and stability, contrasting with Raskolnikov's isolation. Svidrigailov, a wealthy and corrupt man, serves as a dark mirror to Raskolnikov, showing what happens when guilt is ignored. Through these characters, Crime and Punishment explores morality, justice, and the possibility of redemption.